When we talk about the history of the bicycle, few places in the world can claim a legacy as rich as the West Midlands. Coventry gave birth to the modern machine, while Birmingham and its neighbours turned it into a global industry. Together, this region shaped cycling as we know today. The story begins in Coventry, then a centre of sewing machine production. In 1868, the Coventry Machinists Company, later Coventry Sewing Machine Company, took an order to build French-style velocipedes. That moment marked the start of British cycle industry. From this base came extraordinary innovation. James Starley, often called the father of the cycle industry, introduced tangent spokes, and even patented the differential gear for tricycles, a device still used in cars. His nephew, John Kemp Starley, perfected the design that changed everything. In 1885, he launched the Rover Safety Bicycle, with its diamond frame and two equal-sized wheels. It became the blueprint for the modern bicycle. Later, Rover models like the Rover Roadster became popular with commuters and tourists, and the company's name eventually carried into cars. Other great names soon followed. Humber. Known as the aristocrat of bicycles, Humber produced high-quality safety bicycles as well as tandems and racing machines. By the 1890s, Humber racers were winning events across Europe, helping establish the brand as a symbol of prestige. George Singer's firm produced popular safety bicycles in the late 1880s and 1890s, including light roadster models and racing machines. Singer also became known for innovation in frame design, experimenting with lighter construction before moving into motorized vehicles. Premier. The Premier Cycle Company offered solidly built roadsters and touring bicycles. Their cycles were exported widely and often seen in catalogues alongside Humber and Rover. Triumph. Better remembered later for motorcycles, Triumph started with bicycles. Their Triumph Roadsters and club machines were marketed for reliability and speed, and the company's early success in cycles helped fund its later expansion into motorbikes. Dunlop. Dunlop's Midlands factories produced the pneumatic tyres that transformed the riding experience. For example, by the mid-1890s, the Dunlop road racing tyre was the standard in competitive cycling, making high-speed racing and long-distance touring far more comfortable and practical. Coventry Eagle. This firm built well-regarded lightweight roadsters and sport bicycles into the early 20th century, before becoming known for motorcycles in the 1920s and 30s. A Coventry Eagle Flying Standard roadster was a common sight of British roads before the First World War. Just 20 miles away, Birmingham gave cycle industry something different: scale and parts. The city's strength was in its thousands of small workshops skilled in precision metalwork, locks, guns, pens and lamps. As cycling boomed, these trades easily turned to hubs, chains, pedals, lamps and frames. B.S.A. Famous for its B.S.A Roadster and sturdy club bicycles, B.S.A also produced specialist components such as the B.S.A 3-speed hub gear and Eagle coaster brakes, after acquiring the Eagle company. During the 1930s, B.S.A cycle could be found in every corner of the empire, and the badge stood for reliability. Harcules. Known for its popular roadster and later the Harcules Royal Prince, a 1930s prestige model. Harcules was one of the largest cycle producers in the world. Its catalogue also included tandems and export specials, particularly heavy-duty roadsters designed for use in Africa and India. Phillips. Makers of durable Phillips roadsters and club-style lightweights, Phillips was second only to Raleigh in Britain. They also produced countless parts, including pedals and chains, and even experimented with a titanium frame prototype in 1956. Decades before titanium became a mainstream material. Dawes. Best known for the Dawes Galaxy, launched in the 1970s, and quickly adopted as the definitive British touring bike. Dawes also built lightweight racers such as the Dawes Super Galaxy and Lightning. New Hudson built a range of safety bicycles and later light roadsters, before being absorbed into B.S.A. They were also known for high-quality juvenile bikes and for diversifying into motorcycles. Lucas, their most famous product, was the King of Road lamp, introduced in 1878. Lucas also made cycle bells, horns and dynamos, essential accessories on British bicycles for decades. Perry & Co. produced the Perry Coaster Brake, a freewheel mechanism with integrated braking that became internationally popular. They also made chains, hubs and pedals that were fitted to machines from Harcules, B.S.A. and many overseas brands. Brooks. The Brooks B17 saddle, first introduced in the late 1800s, remains in production today and is perhaps the world's most iconic touring saddle. Brooks also made the Swallow racing saddle in 1930s, beloved of competitive riders, and a wide range of backs and panniers. Reynolds Technology. Their most famous product is the Reynolds 531 tubing, launched in 1935, which became the default choice for racing frames for half a century. Later models like Reynolds 753, used by pro teams in the 1970s, and 853, introduced in the 1990s, extended their reputation as the world's finest steel tubing producer. The 1920s and 30s were a golden age. Harcules was making over 1,000 bicycles a day. Phillips in Smethwick rose to be the country's second largest maker, and in 1935 Reynolds introduced its legendary 531 steel tubing, a material that would set the standard for lightweight racing and touring frames worldwide. During the Second World War, production turned to military needs. B.S.A. even designed a folding paratrooper bicycle. But when peace returned, so did demand for bicycles, for work, for leisure, and for export across the empire. By the 1950s, the West Midlands cycle trade was at its peak. Harcules and Phillips exported millions of bicycles, Dawes built its reputation with quality touring machines, and Brooks saddles and Lucas lamps were known everywhere. Yet, big changes were already on the way. In 1957, B.S.A.'s cycle division was sold to Raleigh, and by 1960s, Tube Investments and Raleigh controlled most of the industry. The 1960s and 70s brought decline. Cheaper imports and corporate consolidation squeezed out Birmingham's big factories. Harcules and Phillips faded away, but Dawes gave the region an enduring icon with the Galaxy touring bike, and Reynolds steel tubing continued to dominate professional racing frames across the world. By the 1980s and 90s, the mass production era had ended as the factories fell silent. Today, the cycle industry in the West Midlands is no longer the giant it once was. The mass production of lines of Harcules in Aston, the great B.S.A. works at Smallheath, and the Phillips factory in Smethwick have all fallen silent. The days when the region exported millions of bicycles to the world are now part of a history. And yet, the legacy is far from gone. Some of the most respected names in cycling still call this region home. In Birmingham, Reynolds Technology continues to make the finest steel tubing in the world. Their 853 and 953 alloys are used by custom frame builders from London to Los Angeles, and their famous 531 decal still carries enormous prestige. Brooks continues to handcraft its legendary leather saddles using traditional methods that haven't changed since the 19th century. To this day, a Brooks B17 is the saddle of choice for touring cyclists around the world. The region has also turned to heritage. The Coventry Transport Museum houses one of the world's greatest collections of bicycles, from John Kemp Starley's 1885 Rover Safety Bicycle to blueprint of modern machine, the Humber Racers and Singer Roadsters. So yes, the giant factories are gone, but the story is not over. The West Midlands today is no longer the world's bicycle factory, but it remains a custodian of cycling's heritage and specialist craft. It gave cycling its past, and in its own way, it still shapes its future.